So welcome to the next video on how to create the 2015 that you want, or the next year that you want for yourself. In the last video, we talked about just mulling around the idea of what it is that you want for yourself. What is it that you didn't do this past year that you want to do this year? What is it that you did do this past year but you want to do more of, or you want to make better? What are some of the things that you've always wanted to do, but you've never had the courage to do it? But you know what? You're like, no, I'm ready to do it. Let's do this right now, right? So now that we've got ideas, now you've listed out the things that you wanted to do for yourself for this next year, for 2015. Now is the time for you to actually sit down and set these goals. Now, everyone knows all about SMART goals, right? Simple, realistic, measurable, attainable, and timely. Those are some really great things to take into consideration when you are setting these goals. Let's make them SMART. But the most important thing that I say, whether they're short-term or long-term, make them realistic. That is one of the simplest things I could actually say to you, is let's make them realistic and attainable. There's nothing worse than setting yourself a goal that's really too far reached. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's a really far reach goal for where you are right now. Like say for instance, you're starting a business and you're like, I want to make $100,000 in 3 months. Completely doable if you have these higher price points, but if you're just starting your business, sometimes $100,000 isn't really realistic, is it? So maybe the goal is to make $10,000 or $20,000, whatever may be working for you that way. But let's keep it realistic here, guys. Now, the one thing that I like to do in terms of a timeline is I like to give myself 30 to 90 days when working with this goal. So when you set this goal, you have to understand that there is a timeline with it. So 30 to 90 days is a really good starting point to kind of gauge where you are, because you're giving yourself at least 30 days to work on this, and you're giving yourself up to 90 days to achieve all of this, in which case then you reset another 30 to 90 day goal, and you kind of do that, and it's a quarterly thing, so it happens every 3 months that you set these new goals for yourself. The reason why this works out really well is because it takes 21 days to create a habit. And so after that, so that's why you give yourself that 30 days to start with. And then you just kind of push it a little bit further to push yourself and to go a little bit further than that initial 21-day habit that you had created for yourself. It's also really good because it helps you create the momentum that you want to create for yourself without really feeling like, oh, I didn't give myself enough time, or oh, it's too much time for me to continue on with that there. The other thing that I need you to consider when you're looking at this, as opposed to the SMART goals, is who do you need to be? Now, I know I talked about this in other videos, but who is it that you need to be to attain these goals? Who is it that you need to be to achieve what it is that you want in 2015? So if you want to be more athletic, who do you need to be? You need to be someone who is determined, someone who is mindful and conscious of their physical activity and of their food consumption. You need to be someone who is excited about exercising and about physical activity and about eating healthy and all this wonderful foods that we have in life. You need to be someone who is aware of what you're putting into your body in that way and how your body moves. It's kind of things like that you need to start thinking of, is who do you need to be to achieve these goals? And it could be small things to start off with. Just the idea here is just to allow yourself to kind of just open up to what it is that you want to do and who you need to be for it. Other things are going to come to you at later dates, but you need to figure out who you need to be first as well, before you can list off 10 different other things that you need to be to achieve these goals that you have. And the other thing too, when you're setting these goals for yourself, is you need to make sure that you can take action right now on them. And I'm not saying for the end goal action, but I'm talking about the initial action that you set for yourself, you can do right now. And what I mean by that is that you can take this courageous action. You can do everything that you wanted to do right now for this goal. So let me tell you one of my goals. So one of my goals for 2015 is to be more resilient, and to have a little bit more physical strength in myself. And a part of all of that is this whole notion around wanting to take like a Krav Maga class, something for, my personal safety should that ever happen. And it's not because I think it's going to happen, but it's just I want to know that I am strong enough that I can get away from all of that I am strong enough to do this on my own. So the first step in my action plan is to sign up for a Krav Maga class, and that's what I've done. I've already signed up for a workshop that's going to be happening in January, and that's the first step that you need to take. And then after that, it's okay, I do this workshop and then I attend maybe one class a week for it just to help out. And, maybe at that point there, I'll become strong enough to where I want to be, or maybe there's more that I need to do. So at that point, after that 90 days, come, March and come April, I'm going to be setting myself a new goal of, okay, do I need to do some more weight training? Do I need to up my classes more if that's the case? Do I just need to go to maybe one more workshop every quarter just to kind of build myself up again and to just make sure that I have that confidence in myself to keep going? And that's the whole idea, guys. It's just the courageous action to take action right now on what it is that you need to do. Because if you don't take this courageous action, like I've said in other videos, is you lose that momentum. You don't want to do it anymore, and it takes you that much longer and that much harder for you to get back up again. And that is why it's so important to take that courageous action right now. Make these goals and say, what can I do in the next 5 days? What can I do in the next 5 minutes to help me with this goal? Maybe it's setting up appointments to meet some new clients. Maybe it's just sending out some emails. Maybe it's contacting a volunteer organization so you can get started on that. Maybe it's calling up an old friend who you haven't spoke to in a long time and just to reconnect with them there. Whatever it is, ask yourself, what can I do right now? What can I do in the next 3-5 days to jumpstart this? And then at that point, you need to have another goal within the next 5 days after that to kind of help keep that momentum going up right there. And that's the whole idea, is just kickstarting this future of yours and creating this momentum and just allowing all of this to come to fruition. And don't be afraid, guys. This is another reason why we don't achieve our goals, is because we're really afraid of achieving them. Because what else afterwards? Well, there's so much more afterwards. Once you've started something, there's always more to continue on with. But the whole idea as well is we're afraid of who we actually can become. We've been stifled so much in life and being held back from who we actually are, these powerful, beautiful beings of light. It's amazing. We're just so afraid. And we need to get over that fear. So you just need to kind of keep up that momentum. And this also helps you to become accountable for who you are as well, and for your goals as well in that way there. So what I'm encouraging for you guys is sit down, set your goals. 30 to 90 days. It's really not that bad. And 90 days goes by really fast, guys. Like, we all know this. How is it that it's December 2014 and 2015 is like 10 days away, right? Anyways, I wish you guys all the best of luck in this next week, creating your goals, long-term, short-term, and realistic. Remember to keep it smart. Remember to make it really timely and attainable. I can't speak today for some reason. And until next time, I'd love to hear about you guys. I'd love to hear all about what goals you guys created for yourself. Thank you so much for sticking through. And until next time, bye guys.